Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. My name's Joel.
I'm Gavin.
And this is A Stable Life with the Veggie Boys. Tell me, what's the temperature? What are we doing?
It's line degree, 44 degrees.
44 degrees. High for today's in the 50s. Tomorrow they're calling for rain. Horses are all naked, so they're all out there just being free. Let's see how things are looking in the store.
Who is it?
Morning, Callie. Morning, Becky.
Good morning, Joel.
Morning, Matt.
Morning, Joel.
Morning, Rhonda. Morning, Grammy.
Morning, Joel.
Gavin.
Gavin.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Her cactus. She
Can you
loves
go to
her
Uncle Gavin?
Gavin.
Nope.
No.
Not leaving Daddy.
I'm on my way down to see the cows, but while I was here, I thought I'd give you guys a nice view of the horses from the store. See that beautiful structure down there? Next video is gonna be us working on that. I'm pretty excited about that. I said previously that maybe we were gonna get those sideboards in, but sadly we weren't able to. But we did get the roof finished and ready for sheet metal to be put on. I'm pretty happy with how things are going. I'm pretty excited. Might be the day that we actually finally get the job done, that we can start using it as a feeder. Let's go see what's going on with the cows. Looks like corn's getting unloaded. Doesn't look like the cows were fed yet. Morning. Unloading corn. Have you done anything with the animals yet? No. I told you guys. I said, what do you think? You think you will have started feeding animals, got that done, and then started corn? Or did corn first? Wait till I show up and tell me to work on animals.
I woke up, instead of walking down here, I drove the truck down.
What do you prefer, feeding animals or moving corn? Feeding animals? So we're gonna get in the skid steer and just turn it on because it's been sitting in the cold all night. There we go, we'll let that sit for a little bit. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm having a great day.
Okay, well that job's done. Gavin is hard at work getting the horses' grain prepped and ready. So we better get working hard over here getting the cows' food prepped and ready. What do you say, boys? So with the horses, we measure out the grain according to each horse's specific dietary needs and then feed them individualized in their own stall. With the cows, most cows are fed in what's called group style feeding, which is basically you take the food, put it in a large area, and the cows all collectively eat out of that large area. Well, the food that the cows get is very different than the horses. They do get grain, but it's in a different form and style than the horses. And they also feed silage, which is mashed up ground corn that is fermenting. So the cows that are here mostly get fed silage, and then they get grain put on top. The grain that is put on top is our corn that is raised on our farm, and that is ground locally. And then we also mix some minerals like salt, some molasses in there for some taste. They also put oats in there, grind it all together, gives the cows like a little sprinkling on top. I always think of like an ice cream sundae. And then of course there's grass. They have a giant pasture similar to the horses where they eat mostly grass. They eat this during the morning and the evening, and then during the day they have grass and hay. Now what's interesting about all of this is if you were to feed a horse the same way that you feed a cow, you'd kill them. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about that. The horse would not survive. We have actually sadly had stories or situations where someone had sold a horse to a well-intentioned farmer that just didn't know well enough to not feed the horse the same way they feed their cows. It sadly goes sideways. You gotta keep that in mind. Horses definitely require different food and a different feeding method than cows. Now you can group feed horses. Usually if you have like 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4, you can do that. But if you get upwards into the 20s, group feeding can really be a problem, especially when you have horses that are high up in the pecking order. Now you can do this with certain foods. Like you notice we group feed hay, but we do not group feed grain. Well, we finished washing potatoes. It's been getting really cold, so there's been getting frost on the corn. So we were waiting for that to thaw off. And then we gotta wait for that water to evaporate off the corn because it's too wet. We're down here in the horse stable right now. We've got a little bit of time here before our midday lunch. We're gonna go cut a quick bin of cabbage because we just made some sauerkraut. So I need to fire up the tractor because the loader tractor is hooked up to the rotary chopper. That means my tractor is gonna be getting used. Oh, fires right up like nothing.
Next weekend, next week sometime we'll probably take like 3 or 4 minutes to stick them in the potato storage.
Oh, okay. We're out here picking cabbage. Lunch was very tasty, was good, and is over. Looks like today they're working on filling up their grain bin with corn. I don't necessarily think we're gonna be over with them at all today. We're gonna be chopping corn stalks. So we're basically cleaning up fields, making sure that everything is manicured so that the landlords are happy. It also leaves a good taste in everyone's mouth after we've left the area. So that's what we're gonna be working on today. So let's head up, start the tractor up, and get started working. That'll be what we do for the entire afternoon through dark. So you guys are seeing the filmmaker.
So you guys are seeing the filmmaker for Stable Life?
The Veggie Boys. What we're doing right now is waiting for the tractor to get a little warmed up because it was so cold last night. Looks like Gavin's gonna be with us temporarily. We're gonna take him over to where they are combining corn so that he can get footage for the Veggie Boys over there. But everything looks good back there. So let's hit the road. So the farms that we're doing right now are actually quite a ways away from the main farm, so we take a little bit of road travel to get there. Also, as you guys can see, Gavin's with us, which wasn't necessarily part of the plan. So Gavin ended up with us because he's got the Veggie Boys camera, and he is going to be going over and filming them cutting corn. Speaking of the Veggie Boys, oh, we saw some minis and we thought that is too adorable to not get on camera. Bye, Gavin. So there they go. Now I need to get going. I got a lot of fields I gotta get working on, so let's get to where we need to be now. Alrighty guys, so this farm, I mowed a little bit already, but we still got a section on the back, this huge field here. I also gotta clean off the side woods over here, along the woods back over there, make everything look nice and pretty. So, since I've got a lot of mowing that I'm gonna do today, we're gonna do a time lapse of this, and then we'll show you some nice mowing shots on some other farms. And voila, that is a beautiful farm, completely finished off for the season. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? We'll let all of that material break down into the ground, and then that'll be used next year for the next planting season. Wow, that brings a wrap to this farm. I've got one more farm I'm definitely going to, possibly two more farms we're going to today. We just got to fold up the chopper, get it locked into road position, because we got a little bit of road travel ahead of us. Forgot to bring my leaf blower, so I'll blow it off when I get home. Besides, we got lots more residue we're gonna get on this before we finish up for the day. All right, let's roll. By the looks of things, I think I got about 2 hours left of daylight, more like an hour and 45 minutes. Alrighty, well, we are at the next farm. Now this farm, as you guys can see, most of the farms in the Pennsylvania area are surrounded by trees, and that's how the property is marked, as tree lines. So one thing we do with these bat wings is we fold them down and then go right along the property line and just clean everything up along the line. Really sharpens the whole area up. So we're gonna get that. We're gonna get this little line in between the hay field and soybean field. Then we've got this cornfield and then that cornfield over there through the trees to do. There's a lot of woodlands over here. This probably is one of the farms that gets the most deer damage because there's just so much woodlands here. Lots of deer. This will definitely take what's left of my day. Road travel is always interesting, but the important thing is that we made it here safe and sound. Go ahead and unlock our safety pins. I always put these in every single time. The roads just get so bouncy and bumpy. I'm always concerned that a hydraulic will pop out, and then all it takes is you lose your hydraulic pressure, and then the next thing you know, you got a wing or the whole thing just goes falling down. And the way people drive anymore, you really got to make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. Okay, just like that. Beautiful day. It's always the most stressful when you're mowing along these tree lines because you're keeping your eyes peeled for a stump or something that's just hidden in there. So you know, you gotta go nice and slow and easy. Just clean it up nice, and you're also steering around tree branches as best you can anyway. But it cleans up good when it's done, that's for sure. All right, guys, we finally got all around the perimeter of this farm. All the way over there, all the way around here. So I'm in the back half of this farm now. We've only got about, I'm gonna say 20 to 30 minutes left of daylight. I'm only going till 5. I'm not gonna be working through the night, mainly because we only have so many acres and this isn't something that needs to be pressed to get done. I can just work at this another day. That being said, I'll show you guys the sights and sounds of rotary chopping in the cab. I'm leaning. There we go, we're leveling off now. Now we're back to normal. Well, look at that sunset. So I just got a call from Uncle Brian. I actually got a question from somebody why I don't call him Uncle Brian. I've never called any of my uncles uncle and then their name. I've always just called them their name. Some of my cousins have, you know, referred to their uncles and then they say uncle so-and-so. So Brian is my uncle 100%, but I've just never called him Uncle Brian. I'm always just like, Brian, hey Brian, stuff like that. So I just saw that as a random question and I just thought about it. So I figured, hey, I might as well answer that. Anyway, he called me and let me know that he would like the chopper and me home before dark. So I'm just getting all the clean points off here so that I can get the wings folded up. And a good reason for that is the tractor has lights. So it lights up the work area pretty good. So we're not necessarily worried about the implement, but one thing we are worried about is people on the road, because people are ridiculous when it comes to driving on the road, especially with tractors. It's better to be safe than sorry and have the equipment home before it's dark. Sometimes we have to run the equipment when it's dark, but you'll notice that for the most part on our farm we don't. And that's just because most of our fields and everything like that are rather centralized, except for a few outliers. As all of us have gotten older, we've gained more ground. That is gonna be it for today with chopping. We're gonna get this home. I'm gonna message Gavin so he can bring me the leaf blower so we can clean this off so that it's all clean and ready, so that I'm not putting it away with all this stuff on it. And then that'll be it for today. All right, we made it home. Look at that beautiful sunset. Wow. So let's get this cleaned up. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.